I never knew, I never thought that it would be so difficult to record a podcast, especially since I am being guided to do this. This is not something that's ever been in the cards for me. This is not something that I ever wanted to do. I've made TikTok posts and have not, like I said, I wasn't going to do it. I just not a social media person. I have social media accounts. I go on there to do stuff like look at reels and like just, laugh. But as far as being a person who makes podcasts, a person who records content, never me. But when you're given a directive, you listen. And so basically that's what I'm doing right now. Breaking Consciousness is a podcast that came about through instruction from spirit. Now, let me tell you, when I say spirit, I want to tell you what I mean by that. I use the word spirit, source, universal energy. I use them all interchangeably. Mainly if I'm saying source, I mean source energy. I mean the same being that most people will call God. I don't use that word. I don't use that title because it means different things to different people. And this is about creating a community of like-minded people where people can come and feel accepted. So a lot of times I will use the word, like I said, source, spirit. Sometimes I use the word spirit and I'm talking about spirit guides. I will try to make sure that I distinguish between the two. But I have a co-host who is obviously not here right now. She's on vacation, but she will be back soon. And most of the recordings that we do will be the both of us. But I was tasked to get something out by the end of this month. So that's what I'm going to do. None of our shows, none of our stuff will be scripted. The topic will be decided upon ahead of time. But as far as the content of it, absolutely not scripted. Breaking Consciousness is a podcast that was created to bring together people who look at life through a different set of lenses, people who believe that there is more to life than what you see or what we see. And those of us here, those of us that will appear on this podcast are simply here to share our opinions and on what existence is, what our lived experiences are, and our coming out in the spiritual sense, and how that has affected us in our everyday lives. We all work regular jobs, and that spirituality, that the guide from source guides who we are and how we think. And again, we are not subscribed to any specific religion. And that's not to say that we don't like, and we respect our religions. That is, how we feel. And I will say, speak for me and Val, where I say we want to be knowledgeable about all religions. We want to know it all. We believe it all has its place. We just are, and speaking for myself, I chose not to pick one. I find them all interesting. However, I am a very spiritual being, and therefore that's what I choose to exercise. But in any case, we will talk about different topics that are of interest to us, and maybe they'll be of interest to you. And while what I'm recording right now is scripted, as I said before, our conversations here on Breaking Consciousness will not be. We will cover all different topics. The lean behind it is spiritual, just so you understand that. Whether you believe in something or believe in nothing at all, we are here to provoke thought. Ultimately, we are here to help the world transition and help others to raise their vibration and to create a sense of community for those who understand that we are spiritual beings or souls, however you want to look at it, here on earth to experience, learn, and grow. We are here for those who believe in something more, but you may be afraid of what your friends and family may think of you because of your beliefs. We're here because we were once there. We are here to hold space for those of us who sit at the table and those of us who will soon join the table. So join us for upcoming full episodes. We will cover topics about awakening to reality, or what may be considered the shift towards deeper understanding of existence beyond the physical realm. We will talk about the disillusion of the ego, which allows for more profound connection with the universal consciousness, transformation that facilitates spiritual growth and enlightenment, perception shifts that enable individuals to see beyond societal constructs and limitations, and integration of experiences or the integration of subconscious experiences leading to greater self awareness and healing. And finally, connection to the higher self, which may foster a stronger connection to one's higher self or spiritual guides and enhance intuition and insight. We will have guests that will share their experiences and opinions and invite your comments about yours. There's no judgment here at all. So if we see that some of the comments are judging others, we will reserve the right to respond back to them respectfully. But that's not what we're trying to do here. We are trying to lift the spirits and we're trying to share light and love because we all know here that love is the only defense for hate. We look forward to sharing our ideas and we will see you here on future episodes of Breaking Consciousness. But there's one thing that I kind of want to talk about today, not in great detail, but I just find that a lot of people who are spiritual lean, just and people who don't, but like specifically those of us who are spiritually leaning, those of us who are intuitives, we all share something in common called imposter syndrome, whether it is in this in the space of intuitiveness or in your regular life. I spoke about this on a TikTok that I did previously about not living your authentic self and just trying to fit in and wear masks. You're this person when you're here and you're this person when you're there. And it prevents you from just being true to yourself and being comfortable in life. And I just want to go over this. Like, I wanted to make sure that I give you the accurate description for what imposter syndrome is. So I'm going to read this to you. But imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern where an individual persistently doubts their abilities and accomplishments, feeling like a fraud despite objective evidence of their success. It is not a form of mental health diagnosis, but a common experience, particularly among high achieving individuals, and can lead to anxiety, stress, and burnout. People with imposter syndrome often attribute their success to luck or external factors rather than their own skills and talents. And I find that I do suffer this sometimes at work. I'm not going to go into what my daily work routine is right now, my daily work life, trying to function and knowing you know what you know, but feeling that there are people there that doubt your skills and ability, which then make you doubt your own skills and ability. And then you question whether or not you actually belong where you are doing what you do. And then also too, there are those of us who are intuitives, and I will say that I am an intuitive. I was born with the gift. Everyone has it. Some of us know how to use it a little bit better than others, whether it be because of practice or because of just, using it regularly. I will say that I didn't, as a kid, I didn't know what it was. And it was very frightening until all the way up until maybe like later teenage years. And then I decided that I was not going to try to figure it out. And so I turned it off for the most part. I did lean heavily on my intuition, which some people may call their gut feeling. It kept me safe through my entire life. And I say my intuition, that's me listening to spirit, me listening to source. And when I say spirit, I mean spirit guides. And some of you guys call spirit guides guardian angels. Like, we're all coming from the same place, whether you want to believe it or not. The more we dig in here at Breaking Consciousness, the more I hope you will realize that although I may not use the same terminology that you use, for the most part, I feel as though we're coming from the same general location. I was born and raised Baptist, and then as an adult looked into other religions just for my own curiosity. It's something that I am deeply interested in and want to know about, and then went back to more of a Christianity back for a while. And then around 2012 is when I decided that I needed to be my authentic self and live my life. And so that's when I shed religion and just honored who I am and honored source. and open myself up to be able to communicate with my spirit guides and just, be me. But even with that, the imposter syndrome still kicked in. I still questioned if the messages I was getting were me or if it was spirit. And I will say, I don't know about what other intuitive mediums would say about themselves, but me, I will say that for the most part, I'm usually accurate 65, 75% of the time. And I will say that because although I believe in pre-life design, which will be another show, we all have free will. We all have free will. And just because an intuitive medium gives you information today doesn't mean that it won't change. It really all depends on all things remaining constant. If they tell you this and you do that, then you can expect this to be the result or something very, very close to it. If they tell you this and they say, in 3 months, you should do this and you don't do it in 3 months, let's say you do it in a month, or let's say you wait and do it in 6 months. Well, the outcome is going to be different because something specific was told to you. So, we're then forced to say for entertainment purposes only, right? This is all my opinion and this podcast will be all opinion. But I've tried my hand at the TikTok readings and I just wasn't comfortable with that. That's not saying that the people that are on TikTok doing readings or on Facebook doing readings, that's something that they're comfortable with. I just don't see that for me. I want to help people in a different way. And I had a spiritual mentor and we were working on strengthening my readings just because of that imposter syndrome feeling that I had. And I realized, source, spirit guides all made me realize that you have the gift. And just because you have a gift doesn't mean that you have to use it in the way that everybody else uses their gift. And this is true for anybody, regardless of what your gift is. It may not be mediumship. It might be, musical. It may be art. Just because you have a gift doesn't mean that you have to use it in the way that everybody else uses it. You use your gift in a way that makes you feel comfortable, in a way that allows you to express who you are. And so I decided sometime around last June or July that my gift, I decided, I was led to understand and then accept it, that my gift, while I still may end up providing people with information that is meant for them, for their greatest and higher good, it is supposed to be used for this purpose. Podcasting, creating space, helping people who like me or were, or like I was, where they're just confused. They may be going through the dark night of the soul and they are feeling lonely and they're just looking for that community of people that understand. Um, so when I was preparing to do this podcast today, I experienced a ton of technical difficulties, camera not working, intro, outro music not working. And I decided that, guess what? I'm just not going to let those things stop me because I really feel as though that's what the intent was. So this pod today is going to be made today. It's going to be posted today. Take it for what it's worth. I'm not perfect. Nobody here on this podcast that you will see is perfect. Some people that we have on as guests may be experts in their field, or they may be experts in whatever it is that they're talking about. But us as a general, me and Val, we're not experts. We're just giving you our lived experience. So I will honestly tell you that while this whole social media thing makes me very nervous, it causes anxiety, I will tell you that this is me no longer feeling like an imposter. I belong here. I belong doing this work. You'll learn more about me for whatever it is. I hope that I am able to help people along this journey as I make this journey as well, because that's what I'm here for. I was put on this earth at this time to help hold space and to help people to navigate the spiritual side of things. Again, not an expert is going to be based off of what I have researched, what I feel is true. I listen to a lot of podcasts and I listen to I'm fascinated with near death experiences just because of the overwhelming love that they talk about, that they feel. The majority of them, like the larger part of near death experiences, are positive experiences. The overwhelming sense of love and joy that the experiencers feel. I just want to feel that love and I want to be able to give that love to others. And I hope that this podcast is able to do that. I will be recording again when Val is back from her vacation. Val is wonderful and her expertise and her knowledge, it's way different than mine, but together, this is I believe that we are going to be able to do really, really good things with breaking consciousness. I look forward to the next recording and hopefully we get to the point where we'll be able to do something live. But right now, they're just going to be recordings anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes if it's just one of us, and 30 minutes to 45 minutes, hopefully, if there's two of us. Once we get our bearings and get our footing, because just as nervous as I am right now, this is me breaking my ice. Val is just as nervous as I am. We're both we're introverted in a lot of ways as far as like the social media thing, but we never expected this to be a thing for us. But as I said, when you're guided to do this, you're guided to do this. Yeah. So we look forward to bringing you our insight and things that we're curious about, in hopes to spark conversation, in hopes to spark thought, in hopes that we are able to help other people to bridge the gap between where they are and where they're comfortable, and to know that you're not alone, that we're going through tumultuous times on this earth, and there are far more of us than not. Thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to another episode where we can dive more deep into a topic that is of interest to us.